Hi everyone, my name is Tom. I'm in charge of investment promotion Long Hậu Corporation team and also be a moderator in this webinar. In this morning, on behalf of organizer Long Hậu Corporation and KPMG, we warmly welcome you to join our webinar with the topic Legal Advisory in the Manufacturing Invest in Long An with peace of mind. And hopefully all of us stay strong to overcome pandemic COVID-19. Thank you. As we know, the participants in here have been to join many events or webinar about legal investment. You can understand a little bit or more how you do that. But when you start working on basis, we believe that there are many difficulties for your step. I will give an example. You know the firm to get investment registration certificate, but do you make sure when you fill up information on them, are they exactly at the first time? And how many times will be corrected? So not only it takes you a lot of time for both of your company and your customer, if you know experience, but also you feel very tired. Are you with me? Yes, that is the reason why the topic is legal advisory with peace of mind. Now let's move on with our speaker in this webinar. The first our speaker, we would like to introduce Mr. Nguyễn Thanh Hòa from KPMG, partner from KPMG Law. Anh Hòa has over 20 years of professional experience in legal and tax in Vietnam, including more than 10 years in the dual tax legal practice of KPMG in Vietnam. Anh Hòa is also leading a market entry as well as the restructuring and reorganization group of KPMG in Vietnam. He has been advising many multinational corporations and Vietnam national corporate in various business sectors for cross-border transaction and business restructuring. Hi Anh Hòa, the first speaker, you can say hello everyone.
Thanks Tom, and hi everyone.
Yes. Can you share a little bit about yourself?
I think that the information that you just shared with the audience here are very super sufficient to them. Basically, I have been working in this field, as Tom mentioned, more than 22 years. I started my career with another Big Four and also was in charge of the foreign investment activities in Vietnam. So, I joined KPMG more than 12 years ago and also lead the market entry in restructuring to support foreign investors coming to invest in Vietnam. So this is actually my passion is to see more and more foreign investors coming to Vietnam, and already decided to select Vietnam as the preferred destination for the investment in Vietnam. Nice to see you all.
Yes, thank you, Anh Hòa. And the second, our speaker in this webinar, we would like to introduce Mr. 𝒂𝒏, investment consultant of Long Hậu Corporation. Mr. 𝒂𝒏 has many experience to support the investor choosing the best location in Vietnam and legal procedure with peace of mind. Hi 𝒂𝒏, you can say hello everyone.
Hello everyone, can you hear me well? Yeah. Hello everyone, my name is 𝒂𝒏, investment consultant from Long Hậu Industrial Park. I support for the foreign investors from English-speaking countries who come to Vietnam to look for industrial land and factory for lease to set up the business here. So, yeah, it's very nice to speak with you all here.
Thank you, Mr. 𝒂𝒏. Today, we also pleasure to say welcome Mr. Bùi Lê Anh Hiếu, Corporate Development Director of Long Hậu Corporation. Hi, Anh Hiếu, are you here? Could you say something to the participant?
Thank you, Tom, and hello everyone. I am Hiếu from Long Hậu Industrial Park. First of all, I would like to say thanks for your time to join with us today. And also thank you very much for KPMG team and Long Hậu team work together to bring this legal for manufacturing in Long An event to the audience today. We are home of almost 200 company manufacturer in our park. What's special about us is we located just next by Ho Chi Minh City, almost Ho Chi Minh City, but on the legal process, we work with Long An province. So after 15 years invest and serving our client here, we can say that Long An have a very corporate friendly legal environment. So in this event today, our team and KPMG team would like to share some our real experience and from KPMG maybe some expertise for all of you about this event. So I hope you enjoy this event and please ask many questions if possible. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and Hiếu. Thank you so much. And the last one is Amy Tam. The participant can be handsome man, just simple handsome man. I work in Long Hậu 11 years in the investment promotion of sales marketing team. With me, just simple, you succeed. We have succeeded. Stay here, wait me, please no say out. Thank you. The agenda we have 4 sections. You can see it on the slide. The section 1, the presentation from Anh Hòa KPMG. The section 2 from Mr. Khoa Long Hậu Corporation. And the section 3 from Mr. Tam Long Hậu Corporation. And the section 4 là Q&A session. So, not to waste your time, we start with the presentation of Mr. Nguyễn Thanh Hòa from KPMG. He will show you the investment registration certificate procedure updates for foreign investor. Please, Anh Hòa.
Yes, Tom. So can you please let me share the screen?
Okay.
So Tom, can you please check whether you see the screen?
Already see your slide.
Okay, thanks Tom. And thanks everyone joining the webinar today. So I don't want to waste your time anymore. So I would like to go straight forward to my section today. So my section today is about the investment procedure and investment incentives update for foreign investor. The reason why I chose this topic for the foreign investor because I understand that most of the audience today are working for the foreign invested enterprise or those from overseas who look forward to the opportunity to invest in Vietnam. So that's the reason why I would like to focus the topic for the foreign investor only. But normally, the procedure for domestic enterprise to invest in the manufacturing facility in an industrial park like Long Hậu Corporation, as well as the tax incentive, also quite similar to the one for the foreign invested enterprise. So in my presentation, I will cover 2 main topics. The first topic is about the investment procedure. And in this topic, I will cover the procedure for the investor who first time invest in Vietnam. And the second subtopic is about the subsequent investment of that foreign investor in Vietnam. And the next topic is about the foreign investor invested in Vietnam through the acquisition of share or investment project in Vietnam. The second major topic is about investment incentives. In this topic, I will updates about the basic incentives as well as the special incentive, which is recently introduced by the government. So for the investment procedures, for the first time investment, meaning that for foreign investor who first time invest in Vietnam, so as the licensing procedure, you need to firstly obtain the investment registration certificate for your investment projects in Vietnam, and after that you need to obtain the enterprise registration certificate. For the investment registration certificate, it takes about 15 days from the date that you submit the valid application to the licensing authority, and the licensing authority will be the management board of special purpose zones like the Long Hậu industrial zone in Long An. So if your project is located in an industrial zone, or the provincial Department of Planning and Investment if your project is located outside an industrial zone. For the enterprise registration certificate, the timeline is 3 working days from the time that you submit the valid application to the local authority. And the licensing authority in this case is the provincial Department of Planning and Investment, regardless whether your project is located in an industrial zone or outside an industrial zone. Now, the new guidelines from the government also introduced a new platform for registration of the investment projects in Vietnam, which is provided under the new Decree 31st, which was issued earlier this year. So apart from the physical hard document submission to the licensing authority, now you can also submit the application through the online platform via the portal we call the National Portal of Investment Registration. This is quite similar to the another portal, which is named as the National Portal of Business Registration for the ERC purpose, but this portal is for the IRC purpose. So as a foreign investor or an investor, when you would like to register for your investment project in Vietnam, you can do the online through the following steps. The first step is that you register on the national portal to have an account to use the portal. The second step is that when you are in the portal, you can declare the contents of your investment registration and also uploading the required scanned document to the portal. So once you submit the online submission of the investment registration application, you will receive the confirmation slip from an email from the portal. The next step is that you need to submit the hard copy of your application dossier to the licensing authority. Although with the online platform, you have to submit later on the hard copies. This is the reason. This is the requirement of the law because Vietnam still use the hard copy documentation. So once you submit the hard copy of the application dossier to the licensing authority, in the next step you will receive the result, which is the investment registration certificate issued by the licensing authority. The platform, this online platform, currently work well under the COVID-19 social distancing rules, as well as most of the province and city. And in Long An, the licensing authority in Long An also apply this online platform for the investment registration certificate as well as the enterprise registration certificate. One thing that I would like to draw your attention to submit the application on the online portal is that The contents of your investment registration application dossier submit through the online and all the scanned copy, which must be similar exactly the same with the paper application dossier you will submit later on to the licensing authority. Also, the names of the documents must also exactly the same with the name of the document in the hard copy. And the second one is that the information that you declare on the national portal must be accurate and the same of those of the document, the hard copy document, which will be authenticated with either the digital signature of the investor or the scanned copy as I just mentioned. And I said that the licensing authority here, as a requirement of law, they also require the investor to submit the hard copy application dossier. So please make sure that the document you submit online and the document you submit physically in hard copy must be the same. The next one is about the procedure for your subsequent investment. So once you already invest in Vietnam, so if you would like to expand your current investment projects, or you would like to register or implement a new investment project, so how can you do that? So there are various options for you to do that. It depends on the nature of your investment. So if your investment is just an addition to your existing investment in the same location, but to improve the investment project scale or the project capability, etc., then this is considered as the expansion investment. So you have to follow the option 1 as you see in the slide. In this case, you just submit the application for amendment of your existing investment registration certificate. There is also the different tax incentive treatment for the expansion of your current investment project. So in this case, the expansion investment will be entitled to the same incentive of the current investment project for the remaining period, or you can the expansion can be entitled to the tax exemption in tax CIT exemption and the CIT reduction as applicable to a similar project certified in the same condition for the entire for enjoying the tax incentive. The other option 2, 3, 4 apply to the case that you would like to have a complete new investment project. So in this case, you have 3 options. Under option 2, you have the same legal entity, but you just register a new project. For example, if you already have a company in Vietnam and you implement the current projects in Ho Chi Minh City, for example, and now you would like to invest another project in Long Hậu Industrial Park, then you can register that new project, as a new project without establishing a new legal entity. The second option under the new projects is that you can set up a new legal entity. As you can see under the option 3 on the slide, the foreign investor will set up a new FIE, a new legal entity in Vietnam, and that new legal entity will implement that new projects. Another option under the new project is that the foreign investor will set up a completely new company in Vietnam, and that new company will implement or register the new projects. So there are pros and cons with each of the option under the new projects, 2, 3, and 4, but the tax incentives are the same under these 3 options. So the incentives will be depends on your business sector as well as the location. I will cover in the next slide. The third way of investment in Vietnam by a foreign investor is through the acquisition of shares or projects in Vietnam. So in this case, the foreign investor needs to follow in the following steps. The first step is that you need to obtain the approval for the capital acquisition or share acquisition. We normally call this is an M&A approval from the local licensing authority. And this step takes 15 working days. And the licensing authority is, in this case, the Provincial Department of Plan and Investment, regardless whether the target company is located in an industrial zone or outside an industrial zone. The second step, after the first step, is that you need to amend your enterprise registration certificate or contents. So in this case, you need to submit the application for amendment of the enterprise registration certificate or contents with the Provincial Department of Plan and Investment, regardless whether the company or the target company is located in an industrial zone or outside an industrial zone. And the timeline for this step 2 is 3 working days. The last step, which is not compulsory, but this is normally recommended for most of the foreign investors because it will recognize the foreign investor investment in Vietnam, is that you need to update the investment registration certificate. As I said, that this step is not is technically not required by law, but for the benefits and for the interest of the foreign investor, it is strongly recommended. So this step normally takes about 10 days, and you need to submit the application to the licensing authority, which is the management board of the industrial zones in the provincial city. If the target company is located in an industrial zone, or the provincial Department of Plan and Investment if the target company is located outside an industrial zone. Similar to the first time investment procedure, the procedure for investment through the acquisition of shares of the target company can also be done through the online platform. For the there are some requirement for in terms of the procedure for the foreign investor to acquire the target company in Vietnam, and this criteria is required in the form of M&A approval, as I said, and this M&A approval is required in the following cases. The first one is that the M&A transaction will result in an increase of the foreign ownership in the target company, which is operating in conditional business line for foreign investor. For example, manufacturing is not considered as the conditional business line, but if that target company, in addition to the manufacturing activities, also doing the trading activities is regarded as the conditional business sector for foreign investor. So in this case, if the target company before the M&A transaction have no foreign ownership, but now with the acquisition of the foreign investor, therein the foreign ownership will increase to a certain level, like 20%. In this case, the foreign investor is required to obtain the M&A approval from the licensing authority. The second situation is where the M&A transaction will result in an increase of the foreign ownership from less than 50% to more than 50% in the target company. So for example, the target company currently have 40% of foreign ownership, and the new investor acquire another 20% of the share in the target company. So the total investment capital in the total investment ownership in the target company after the M&A transaction will be increased from less than 50% to more than 50%. So in this case, the M&A approval is required. The next situation is where the M&A transaction will result in an increase of foreign ownership in a target company which already has more than 50% of foreign ownership therein. So for example, if the target company currently has 70% of foreign ownership and the foreign investor acquire additional 30% foreign ownership in the target company to become a 100% foreign ownership in the target company. So in this case, because there is an increase of the foreign ownership in the target company, which already has more than 50% to 100%, you are required to obtain an M&A approval. The other cases which also require the foreign investor to obtain the M&A approval because if the target company is located in the area which using the land in the island and the coastal or border communes, etc. This is the new rules under the decree 31 issued earlier this year, and this requirement also creates some difficulties for the foreign investor because at this point of time, the list of the location which is in the island of border coastal communes normally not published or issued by the relevant authorities. So which creates difficulties for the licensing authority to determine whether the location of the target company is actually located in an island or in the coastal or border communes in Vietnam or not. So we hope that in the near future, the relevant authority will issue the list of location which is located in island or at the border or coastal communes. So the next topic, I would like to update about the investment incentives provided under the investment law of Vietnam. The first one is about the basic incentives. We call it as the basic incentives because we would like to differentiate them with the special incentives for special investment project, which is encouraged by the government. So for the basic incentives, the investment projects entitled to these basic incentives, including the investment projects in the list of the business line, which is entitled to investment incentive, as provided in the appendix of the decree 31. So currently there are 99 business sectors or business line entitled to investment incentive, of which there are 32 business lines entitled to special investment incentive. The second type of investment project which are entitled to investment incentive is the investment projects which are located in the area which are encouraged by the government, like the remote areas, the economic zones, the high-tech zone, industrial zone, export processing zone. The incentives provided by the government include first one is the corporate income tax incentive in the form of the preferential rate. So as you know that the standard rate is 20%, the preferential rate will be 10% or 15%. The second type of the corporate income tax incentive is the exemption for a number of years, and the third one is the corporate income tax reduction of 50% for a number of years. The second type of incentives is about import duty incentives, which are the exemption from the import duty for goods or products which are imported to from the free access of the manufacturing facility in Vietnam, or the raw material that that are used for the investment project in Vietnam. The other type of the incentives are the land incentive, which are the exemption or reduction of the land rental or the land use tax provided by the government. So the next slide, I would like to go through the detail of the corporate income tax incentives under the basic incentive group. So as you can see in the slide, there are various conditions of the sector of location which are subject to the CIT incentives, and the CIT incentive package also different from one project to another project. So the first type of projects we call the highest CIT incentives, which are including the CIT raise of 10% for 15 years, the CIT exemption for 4 years, and the CIT reduction of 50% for 9 years. And this package is applied for projects which are in the high-tech zone or economic zones, or projects which are using the high technology or producing the high-tech products. Also apply for large manufacturing projects with the total investment capital of at least 6,000 billion, which is equivalent to $260 million, or the investment projects which the total investment capital of 12,000 million, which is equivalent to $520 million. And the software, the investment project in the software production also entitled to this highest basic CIT incentive package. You can see also there are various packages for other type of investment projects. It depends on the business line that you register for, as well as the location of your investment project. One thing I would like to draw your attention here is the group number 5 in the slide, which is the investment project in industrial zone which are not located in urban districts space or grade 1 space. So my understanding is that Long Hậu industrial zone is located in the area which is not classified as urban districts or grade 1 city. So the CIT incentives under for your investment projects, if you are not invested in the high tech or in any business sector which are entitled to the incentive. In this case, the incentives will be 2 years of exemption, and followed by another 4 years of 40%, 50% reduction. And after that, the CIT grade of 20%, which is the standard rate, will be applied. So the next section, I would like to update you about the special incentives which are provided under the new law on investment, which came into effective from 1st January this year, and also detailed recently by the government under the Prime Minister decision. So the investment projects which are entitled to special incentives are the one which are special encouraged by the government under the law on investment and the decree 51. You can check the list of the business line which are specially encouraged by the government under the decree 31 of the government. So here I just list down about the business line in the high-tech area or the software production area, as well as the supporting industry area. So you can see in the list that the first business line, which is entitled to the special incentive, is the application of the high technology. The high technologies, it must be on the list of the high technology prioritized for development under the decision of the Prime Minister. So at the moment, the Prime Minister issued the decision 38 last year, providing the list of the high technologies which are prioritized for development. The second type of business line, also entitled to special incentive, is the investment projects which are manufacturing the products on the list of the high-tech products encouraged for development under decision of the Prime Minister as well. So the list is under the decision 38 of the Prime Minister, as I just mentioned. There are other business line also entitled to this special incentive package, including the software production as well as the investment projects which manufacture the products on the list of supporting industry products, which are prioritized for development under the government regulation, which is now under Decree 111, dated in November 2015. So what are the special incentives package provided by the law and the government? So the special incentive package including the corporate income tax incentive as well as the land rental incentive package. So as you can see in the slide that this special incentive package was just issued by the government under the Prime Minister Decision 29, which was issued earlier this month and come into effect on the same date, mean on the 6th October this year. And this decision also applied for the fiscal year or the financial years ended 2021. So meaning that if any investment project entitled to this special incentive package having the fiscal year from 2021 can be entitled to this special incentive package. So the detail of the special incentives, as you can see in the screen, is that for level 1, which is for the corporate income tax incentive, there is the preferential corporate income tax rate 9% for 30 years, and as well as the CIT exemption for 5 years, as well as the 15% CIT reduction for another 10 years. Which is about the land rental incentive. The exemption of the land rental will for 18 years, and the 55% reduction for the remaining years. So this level 1 special incentive package are applied to the investment projects which are specially encouraged by the government in the sector, as I just mentioned in the previous slides. But there are additional conditions as that the investment project must have the capital at least 30,000 billion dong, which is equivalent to 1.3 billion US dollar, and at least 10,000 billion dong, or equivalent to 430 million US dollar must be disbursed within the first 3 years. So this is for the first level of the special incentive package. The second level of the special incentive package, including the CIT preferential rates of 7% for 33 years, and CIT exemption for 6 years, and another 50% CIT reduction for 12 years. With regard to the land incentive, the project will be entitled to land rental exemption for 20 years, and another land rental reduction for 55% for the remaining years. The investment projects are entitled to this group or this level of incentives is the project as mentioned in level 1, but satisfy in one of the 4 conditions as provided in the Prime Minister decision. For example, the investment projects in the high-tech one. In this case, it must be at the grade 1 high-tech. So high-tech project also classified as grade 1 and grade 2. It depends on the criteria about the revenue from the high-tech products, the investment on the R&D activities, and as well as the employment of the R&D employees. Another criteria is that the participation of Vietnamese business in the production chain as grade 1. Grade 1 here also is about the number of the Vietnamese business will be participate in the production chain. The third criteria is about the added value from 30% to 40% of the total product cost. And the last criteria is the investment project must meet the criteria of the technology transfer as grade 1. Also, the grade 1 here is about the number of the entities that the projects will transfer the technology to. The last group of last level of the special incentive is level 3, so which is very high, very attractive package, including the CIT preferential rate at 5% for 37 years, plus the 6 years of CIT exemption and 13 years of 50% of CIT reduction. With regard to the land exemption, the project will be entitled to the land rental exemption for 22 years, and also followed by the land rental reduction of 75% for the remaining years. So this project, this incentive package is applied for projects at mentioned in level 1, but qualifying one of the 4 conditions as mentioned in the level 2 of the special incentive, but with a higher requirement. We call the grade 2 requirement. So this is the overview of the special incentives which are recently introduced by the government under the Prime Minister Decision 29, which came into effect earlier this month. So this is also the end of my presentation. If you and I look forward to your questions in the Q&A section. Thank you.